Hey, before we dive in, don't forget to hit subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. My name is Callum, and if you'd asked me a year ago what the worst sound on earth was, I would have said quiet, that heavy silence that hangs in the air after a disagreement. But that answer changed the night my wife, Marley, laughed at something she never should have joked about. We'd been married for 6 years. Not perfect ones, not tragic ones, just a steady kind of marriage two normal people build while trying to balance work, bills, routines, and whatever love looks like on weekdays. Marley always had a playful streak I used to admire. She could take an ordinary moment and give it warmth. I always believed her humor made our marriage lighter. But sometimes people hide their truths inside their jokes. The things they're too afraid or too selfish to say plainly. It happened on a slow Thursday night. We'd just come home from dinner with friends, the type of evening where everyone laughs too loudly, drinks a little too much wine, and quietly compares their lives to everyone else's. I was washing dishes while Marley sat at the kitchen island scrolling through her phone. The soft pendant lights glowed against her face. She looked calm, maybe even content. "Remember when we used to stay out late on weeknights?" she asked suddenly. "Back when we actually had energy." I chuckled. "We're just getting older." She smirked. "Maybe you are." At first, it was harmless. Then, still looking at her phone, she said lightly, "You know, my ex used to call me at midnight just to drag me out for ice cream. He had so much energy." She paused, then she giggled. A small, nostalgic giggle I hadn't heard in years. "He was definitely bigger than you." The words drifted across the kitchen like slow, floating sparks, then landed and detonated at my feet. I froze. Marley didn't even glance up. She kept scrolling, still smiling, still lost in whatever memory she thought she was being clever about. Some guys yell, some slam a door, some break things just to match how broken they feel. Me? I went completely still. Not angry, not insecure, just clear, because jokes have boundaries, rules, reasons. And the moment she said that, I realized she hadn't made a joke. She'd made a comparison. And comparisons come from somewhere real. "Marley," I said quietly, turning off the faucet. "Say that again." She finally looked up, her smile faltering just a bit. "Oh, come on, Cal. Don't be dramatic. It was just a joke." "Say it again," I repeated, "but look me in the eyes this time." She rolled her eyes. "Seriously? You know I didn't mean anything." I dried my hands slowly, giving myself space to breathe. "I'm going to ask you something," I said, "and I want the truth, not the softened version you use to keep the peace." She shifted in her seat. "Okay, why did you say that?" She scoffed. "Because you're being overly sensitive. It was just a joke. Couples tease each other." "No," I said gently. "People tease about leaving hair in the sink, or forgetting anniversaries, or being messy. They don't tease about things that cut their partner down, not unless there's something behind it." She hesitated, and in that tiny pause, everything inside me rearranged itself. The old version of me, patient, trusting, always giving, stepped backward. A calmer, colder version stepped forward. "I didn't mean it like that," she said finally. It just slipped out. "I wasn't thinking." "That's the problem," I said softly. "Things that slip out usually reveal what's underneath." Her expression tightened. "So what? You think I sit around fantasizing about my ex? Grow up." I nodded, not because I agreed, but because I had just learned something important. Marley wasn't sorry for hurting me. She was irritated that I noticed. "You know," I said, "I've always believed respect dies long before love does. And I think you just proved that." She blinked rapidly. "What's that supposed to mean?" "It means you don't make that kind of joke about a man you respect." Her mouth opened, then closed again. "Callum, you're overreacting." "No," I replied. "I'm paying attention." The room suddenly felt colder. Marley sensed a shift, because for the first time in our marriage, I wasn't trying to repair the moment. I was simply seeing it for what it was. "Can we just forget this and go to bed?" she asked quietly. I looked at her and realized I didn't want to. "Not tonight, Marley." I said, stepping closer, voice steady. I've spent years trusting you, loving you, believing in us. And tonight, you chose a joke over honesty. Her eyes flickered. Guilt or fear, I couldn't tell. It wasn't like that, she whispered. It doesn't matter how you meant it. What matters is what it reveals. She recoiled slightly at how calm I was, as if I had become someone she didn't recognize. That was the point. I've brushed off the little jabs before. I continued. The tiny digs. The teasing that didn't feel like teasing. I ignored them because I believed in you. But this isn't small. This is a line. And you crossed it. Marley's hands fussed with her mug. So what now? She asked, defensive and trembling. I sat across from her, leaning in slightly. Now, I said, we stop pretending. You showed me what you really think of me, and I have to respond to that truth. She tried to speak, but nothing came out. I'm not angry, I said quietly. I'm disappointed. And disappointment doesn't shout. It clarifies. It shows me what's been hiding beneath the surface. Her face fell, all the lightness gone. Callum, you're taking this too seriously. It was just a joke. I shook my head. A joke doesn't make someone feel small. That's not humor. That's honesty wearing a mask. She swallowed hard. I didn't mean... I know. I cut in. You didn't intend to hurt me. But intention isn't enough. Words have weight. And today, you showed me exactly how lightly you weigh me. The kitchen hummed quietly around us. After a long silence, she whispered, So, what are you saying? I exhaled slowly. I'm saying I'm done being the guy who laughs off jokes that cut deep. I'm done tying my self-worth to someone else's humor. I love myself too much to stay where I'm diminished. Her eyes flooded with tears. Callum, please. I swear I didn't mean it. I love you. I shook my head gently. Love is an excuse for disrespect. Love doesn't shrink someone and laugh. She reached toward my hand, but I pulled back. Callum, wait. It was just a joke. I looked at her long and hard. A joke, I said softly, is only funny if it brings people closer, not if it breaks them. Her face crumpled. Panic replaced her playfulness. Callum, I didn't mean to. I stood slowly. I believe you. But believing you isn't enough anymore. I need to respect myself. And right then, I refused to keep shrinking just to fit into her humor. She sat there speechless as I grabbed my jacket and headed to the door. The hallway light cast long shadows, and I suddenly understood the heaviness in my chest. It wasn't her absence that hurt. It was realizing the person I thought I married wasn't the person standing in front of me. I paused, looked back. Marley. I said steadily, I hope you learn what respect actually means, because words can become the torch that burns the last bridge you have.